Welcome to the Call Your Cousins podcast, a podcast dedicated to exploring deep and complex topics that shape our world and human experiences. Before we dive into today's episode, we want to acknowledge the sensitive nature of some of the content we discuss. Please be advised that this podcast may include themes and discussions that could be triggering or uncomfortable for some listeners, including but not limited to discussions on mental health, violence, abuse, and other potentially distressing topics. Listener discretion is advised. Remember, this podcast is for informational and educational, but most importantly, entertainment purposes only, and should not be taken as professional advice. The views expressed by hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Call Your Cousins podcast. Enjoy the show. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Whatever time you're joining us, the cousins thank you for doing so. Welcome back to the Call Your Cousins podcast, a now tangible group chat of cousins that wanted to share our thoughts, humor, and growth with the world. And everyone's invited. Most of y'all. Welcome back. This is the Call Your Cousins podcast. I am your host, A-Dub, here with a few very good people. I'm lucky enough to call them family. Today we got P Money on the mic.
Hey.
Okay. We got Twin here.
What's up, y'all?
And of course, the research team. We can't do it without her.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Good morning, fam. What's good with y'all?
Man, I'm out of order, but I'll be real fucked up about walked in, put it down in my pocket, had them in the like, ooh.
Yeah. Top of the show, we gotta say rest in peace to Rich Homie Quan. I think that's what Twins alluding to.
Yeah.
How did that one hit y'all?
I thought I was straight, but on the way home from the club last night, I just had to blast my dog the whole way. In fact, I only went out because I was like, I just need one more time for the Rich Homie Quan, bruh. Atlanta native, Decatur where it's greater, McNair High School.
Oh yeah, that's out your way, huh? I know that hit home.
It did, man. 34, and then that's only 2 years younger than me. When people die that's close to my age, I'd be like, what the hell?
Could have been me, right?
It could have been me.
Yeah.
And then I feel like I was thinking about this last night. Anybody that really make it for real or any type of level musically in Atlanta, you got something for real, because it's a lot of talent in Atlanta, and a lot of them people don't make it.
That's a fact.
And he had hits. Like, I feel like I kind of forgot because it was a whole little era. They start playing my dog in the club. I was like, hey man, we lost the real one. R.I.P. I know I'm out of order, y'all, but that really kind of put me up.
R.I.P. It's all good. It was weighing on you. It's all good.
Yeah, I think that's a good mental check-in. Loss, grief. You know, it's a part of life. And I think all of us, it's so strange because I really, really hate Black young men dying young. I just hate it. You know, in perspective, you know, he only was 34, and that's just you feel like you said, I mean, the way he used to show up with Jeezy at the Moon in 06, 05. I mean,
it was a time.
It was a time.
It was like a whole college era for me. Like,
it was a time.
You know, and so as those of us that experienced him in his prime, I think that it's just, it's a part of life. So that's not a bad check-in. Grief, will do that. And unexpected loss is always sad. So RIP to Quan. We gonna miss you, dog, for real.
For real. And he
R.I.P.
was
Quan.
open about his addiction. Y'all be careful with the drugs y'all do. And we not judgmental on here, but be careful, bro. Because you could just not wake up. And I know life be hard. When I was in my low point, I was doing a lot of stuff. Call the people, take the prescriptions, go for a walk, whatever you got to do. But don't be buying it. Don't be buying the crazy stuff because you could just not wake up, bro. That's my mental health check-in. But other than that, I'm good. Like you said, P, sometimes loss, even on a surface level like this, like I ain't know that man, but he's part of the culture. Sometimes it kind of fuck with you. So RIP my dog. And when we're talking about grieving now.
Yeah.
Are the side pieces able to grieve as well?
Yes.
They got
I
to
don't
grieve.
think you can stop anybody from grieving.
Yeah, I don't think grief has think about all the side pieces in Atlanta that almost crawled into a hole when Martin Luther King died. I don't.
Okay.
I'm just, hey,
Wow.
hey, and they didn't come out. They didn't crawl out of their crevices.
Why you gotta bring up bullshit?
They had to grieve in silence. And so I don't.
But is that like? Do they have to grieve in silence?
I'm saying now, if any of them hooligans that was messing around with King, knowing that he was with Coretta now, I don't know, dog. That's like somebody.
Yeah.
That's like somebody sliding on Obama. Like you as the woman.
Wow.
You come on now. That's because you're hurting another black woman. So
is it her hurting the black woman or is it the man?
No. When they have already been elevated to that platform, I think that's what I'm saying is I can only think of someone in Atlanta right now that would be the equivalent to the side piece. And yeah, I think they have the right to grieve, but how tasteful is the grief? I think you should grieve. In this case, like you said, we don't really know Quan, and he was a street, ninja. And so I feel like, when you in the streets like that, stuff like that just gonna come out. So not to say that King wasn't for the streets, but King wasn't in the streets like that, but he was out in the streets with the women though. And when he died, like if all of them had lined up and poured out and was at the funeral falling out and stuff, child.
See, I feel like I disagree. Air them niggas out. I don't give a fuck if they did.
You gonna air you Aaron King out after he died? Girl, stop.
Yes.
No, you not.
Put that nigga on blast. That's how I feel.
Research team, come get your cousin. No, she ain't doing that.
Put them all on blast because what is done in the dark will come to light, nigga.
I mean, at what point, like, I guess it depends on what kind of side piece you are. Like, if you're a side piece to someone that's married, then I think it's different grounds because you knowingly are being disrespectful not only to you but to what that marriage is or is not. So if you knowingly are messing with somebody that's married and all parties are not aware or are involved, then that's you got to do you have to grieve silently. But if you're just a
research
boyfriend,
team 100%.
But if that's just like, your boyfriend or your girlfriend, like you're not in something that's super committed or super tied like that, then I guess do what you do. But if no, I think it's levels to the disrespect, and you got to grieve quietly.
why do we feel like the man can get away with disrespect? Why should it be the side piece job to make sure the man is intact and that he's not tarnished and that the relationship looks like it was respected from both parties? I just don't feel like that burden should be on the side piece.
I don't take it from that perspective, like she's protecting him. I think it's the wife that still is required to be covered and protected, even when her husband is not. Because she may be like literally like, I ain't even know. And that's another level of grief on top of him being dead. So you mean to tell me I gotta bury the love of my life and then I find out at the funeral or after the funeral or when he died that he done had all these other people?
Yes.
On top of that grief, that's a different level.
Hey, listeners, if
Oh
I ever
my
get
God.
married, which I probably won't, air that nigga dirt out at the funeral. I can't be grieving delusionally. Air that nigga out so I can move on with my life. Okay. Speaking for me.
But see, I don't think that provides any closure. I rather grieve delusionally because then I can't even, there's no action after that. I can't check him. I can't be like, why did you did this? Like it's like, okay, now what? I got to deal with this and carry this around for how many ever years? Oh, you know, that was such and such wife, but you know, at the funeral, it was like 3 of the side pieces though. Like, nah, I'm straight.
Tell me before the funeral. You don't got to air it out at the funeral. Tell me prior to, so I don't be looking like a fucking fool at the funeral, grieving this man and 5 his bitches in the audience that I ain't know about. But I don't do well with being. I don't like deluding myself. I am not one of them people that's blissfully ignorant. I need to know what's going on, and I don't. And then people be secretly knowing about the side pieces and looking at you crazy, like, damn, she don't even know. But you know, it's okay. We just gonna let her be delusional. And I don't like that. I don't like that.
Like in their business.
I don't like that. If y'all knew about the side pieces and didn't tell me, I'm gonna be mad at y'all. So y'all just let me out here look stupid. You don't love me.
See, that's not my relationship though, and that's not. I feel
yeah,
like that's not my place to
that's
tell
not my
you.
place to.
So y'all gonna tell me if my nigga was cheating?
Wow.
Yeah,
that y'all married?
Like what? Like are y'all boyfriend and girlfriend or are y'all married?
That don't matter.
It does to me.
Girlfriend, married.
See,
my husband out with 3 bitches. Y'all just gonna keep on walking.
No.
Kid in my face like nothing happened.
First of all, let's
if he out with 3, he ain't cheating, he pimping.
Yeah.
Wow.
And let's clarify, I have already been put in this situation with one of our cousins, and I did not hesitate to blow her up and find out what was going on. However, in the process in doing that, she ain't talked to me in almost 10 years. So, okay. So I'm saying is if you want that smoke, don't let our I'm just no, I'm just saying I think that's why a lot of people mind their business is because they risk the relationship of the friendship they have with a person or family relationship they have with a person. That's what I think research team is hesitant because at the end of the day, I see it and then you get back with them and then it's like we got to have a conversation, like just let me know if you asking that of us, are we gonna be cool? Because it's still F him forever.
And my thing is, because I've been in that situation too, and the person obviously went back to the dude. But for me, I'm talking about twin. If I tell you some shit like that because I love you and you have a negative reaction, then we not that cool. And I'm good on you. I needed to know that. Thank you, girl. So now I know where my place is in your life.
I don't see. I don't. Everybody handles that information differently and receives that differently. So I've told somebody like, hey, such and such. I done had the text message, the video, all that. The person still stayed with the person, got pissed off at me for being in a business, and we are not cool.
Yeah,
Friendship
that has
ended
happened
that day.
too. And that means we weren't supposed to be cool. You are unwell, and I don't need that energy in my life. I'm okay, so I'm telling you, 1, 2, 3, Dub P research. If y'all see my future husband, ex-husband out with a bitch, you better tell me. Okay? And I'm gonna believe you. I don't even gotta talk to that nigga no more. Y'all told me
I
what it
got you. I
is.
got
It's bye. Okay, I'm done. That went a little longer than I anticipated. RIP Rich Homie Quan. Side pieces. I see you. It's okay if you want to agree. Put them videos out there. Okay. How was y'all Labor Day?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I spent Labor Day with P Money.
Did we even? Yeah, I was gonna say, did we even do our mental health check-in? I feel like you just the grief do that though. Grief had you driving the boat,
bruh. I was just don't drink and drive, people. I was a little litty on the road last night, just riding to my dog, man. Okay, I'm sorry. Back to the agenda.
What you checking in at? What's your temp? How your mental health, man? How you doing?
I'm Gucci. I mean, you know, I'm a very even keel person. I'm doing good. I can't complain.
Love it. How you doing, research team? Last time we talked, you was excited for Labor Day.
I'm doing better, than I was before. Still trying to get back up to like, I don't know, a 7 or 8. But I did rest. So that was exciting because I be working like 10-hour days. And I was just happy to like not have to get up and do something. So yeah.
Whole season.
Yeah, my dog Twin came down and kicked it with me in Peaceland. Appreciated you, sis, for coming through. We had a great Labor Day.
I seen the video. Or the
what
snippet.
video?
Which one?
When you was out on the beach.
Oh, I didn't go out there. I dropped off.
Wow. We know.
You know what was crazy was being in Miami. We're in rainy season, hurricane season, and we get those afternoon showers. So literally every day he wanted to get up and go to the beach, it would like pour. And so I was like, I'm a Floridian, so we're good at checking the forecast. And when I tell you the way God held back them clouds for her on that last day,
baby, the Lord heard my cry.
Because it rained every day.
Every single day.
Every day she was here. Yeah.
And the sky was black on Monday too. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go out there and pray.
You know what's funny? Not only do we check the forecast, but we could just look at a cloud and be like, "Nah, you see that cloud over there? It's gonna rain in about 20 minutes."
Mm-hmm. Yep.
See, and my stubborn Georgia ass, I'd be like, I mean, it ain't gonna be that bad. I'm gonna just go, and then it starts storming.
Well, that's what happened. So I guess a good thing about Labor Day is that's the start of football season, and for the most part, I believe all of us are big, sports fans, but we're really into football. And so Saturday, of Labor Day weekend, I feel like the last couple, I feel like what's that, 2 years ago we was all together? Yeah, we was all together, weren't we?
Mm-hmm. Sure was.
Was that 2 years?
Were we? What was we at?
You weren't there. We went to the game.
See?
Yeah.
Is that when y'all called me and y'all was like,
that's when Doug was running around in the parking lot for 3 hours.
Lost the whole rental. Missing.
To this day. Yeah, I remember that. I was like, Lord, why they call me out of all people? But Good
We was
time.
really running around Hard Rock Stadium for about 2 hours, sometimes in a golf cart, sometimes in the car, looking for my rental. I didn't know where I left it. We was out of there.
And then we just stopped in the middle of the parking lot, started dancing. We done forgot we was even looking for the car.
It was a lot happening. Yeah, I remember that. It felt like I was there.
Yeah, I hope in future when we all get in our bag a little bit more, we can resume doing the Labor Day cousins trip, because I tell you that it's something about that shift between, and we talked a little bit about it on the pod last time, is that you get this shift in seasons, and it's really something different about that shift from summer to fall that I find unique than the other seasons. And so yeah, it was good. I had a great time. I really
Yeah,
did.
you definitely get that shift because you have a decent summer. Sometimes you sit up and you look around and you be like, it's time to go in the house, and that's when fall start.
I feel like I had that feeling this year, Dub. Even though I wasn't really like outside, I was a little outside. But it was a lot, it was a transitionary summer for me. So at the end of August, it felt like it's time for something else. It's time. And I went
And
outside today. It was a little fall, that little fall breeze you get.
mhm.
Like, yeah.
Oh, it feels so good. It'd be
Mhm.
about 60 in the morning now when we get up.
Bruh,
It's nice.
it was like 55 and currently
55. Now that's too far now.
well, y'all know where I'm at. So I was like, when I
Yeah, I
went to
know.
go get the Amazon package, I said, wait a minute. Hold
I
on.
love I don't know. I love that weather. I love when it
Love
get
it, love it, love it.
yeah, I love the 50s. The 50s, the only thing that's uncomfortable for me in the chill is anything below 30.
Girl, no.
I can go to
What?
the yeah, I love cold weather.
65 and up, me, please.
Man,
That's
where are you from?
I don't know. It's the only thing I hate about living back in Florida is I
I
miss
love it.
cold weather. I don't like snow. I like snow that fall and leave, but like yeah, I really miss
Mm-mm.
I miss it for sure.
I'm good on that.
It's
I'm good.
windy here too, so it really don't feel like 55. It's probably like closer to 50. And I said, oh
It's
no.
55 right now.
It's trying to warm up. It was 55 when I went to go get the Amazon package this morning that I told y'all.
It went straight to winter in Ohio.
I like
Yeah,
it.
they just flipped that switch. Bloop. Wintertime.
It's cold. It's time to be cold.
Pool is closed. Okay. I think it closed like right on Labor Day. Like that's the last day it's open. And then after that, it's a wrap.
Speaking of cold, let's speak of something hot, like the hot girl. What y'all think about Meg new Pepsi commercial?
Oh, I meant to watch that right before we started.
Listen.
Okay.
I feel
Congrats to her.
like yeah, I was trying to look up famous Pepsi commercials, but I have to say it's one of the best commercials I've seen. One, because to me it paid homage to Denzel's new movie coming out, Gladiator. I just love that Denzel took over from Russell Crowe, the Gladiator franchise, and we know he gonna deliver, and we ain't
Wait,
even
what?
seen it yet. Well, Gladiator 2 come out, and that's what it was homage to, was Gladiator 2. Because they in the Coliseum. And I love that they had Kelsey in there. I think Black women have kind of forgiven him at this point, but like we still kind of not on him, anymore. So I felt like having Meg be the dominant of these players. I thought that played well into her current promotion of her album and what she has going on. And just the divine masculine and feminine energy is very present in the commercial. So it was so many layers, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I like this kind of Meg. I did not enjoy Meg twerking at a political rally, to clarify. So
Right.
Yeah, that okay. Now y'all know I love Meg. That was strange to me. It was
it was
strange.
it was very strange, but I felt like what the at that time the landscape was so strange with Amber Rose and Kid Rock and Hulk Hogan. Sometimes you got to match a little strange with strange. That's what it was given to me, but still I didn't enjoy it because I think all twerks are not created equal in certain spots and places.
Say
And
that. Say that. Say
you know,
that.
I just I felt like it was giving I don't know my place. And not that you need it's that old saying, right? Like them old grandmas in the church. You know your place, know the time, place, time. There's time and a place for everything, just like us talking about the grieving side pieces. It's a time and a place for everything. And it was just a little tasteless, but neither here nor there. That when you get a commercial of that size, that means you are officially famous. Cause yeah, I'm thinking now, I think Cardi B had one. Hers was okay back then. I mean, you know, I really hate it for Cardi B because I low key feel like Offset is still in some of the best years of her career. To be honest, at this point, because you laid up pregnant somewhere and he already outside with another woman, but that's neither here nor there. And you know, she's one of the most dangerous rappers in the game. And the fact that her peers and colleagues has surpassed her, and she's home, which is fine. Being a mama is fine. Like, let me make sure I land that well. But it's giving, like, I'm just thinking like Pepsi commercials. Who's had? I feel like maybe Nicki Minaj might have had one. I haven't seen a good Pepsi commercial. Taylor Swift has had one. I don't think Beyonce has ever done one. Maybe maybe Destiny's Child did one. I don't know.
Wasn't she paying homage to that old one, that old Pepsi commercial with Beyonce them?
That's what I'm saying.
And who else was in that?
Didn't they do Destiny's Child had one? I think.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kylie. Didn't she have that controversial Pepsi commercial?
Yes. Unfortunate. Should have
Yeah.
never.
She should have never did it. Yeah. But she
really
wasn't
should've
even. She shouldn't even been in it because she wasn't no, like, the Pepsi commercials for football have always been singers.
Entertainers.
Yeah, like I can't think of. Have you ever?
Money. Money.
Money what?
If you got money, you can do whatever the fuck.
They was out of pocket.
Yeah, I think
I
even
agree.
for Pepsi, that was a reach. I was just like, the disappointment. Like, I don't really like the product to begin with, but golly. Huh? Y'all couldn't find nobody else? Really?
We all know who in them offices making them decisions. So
I gotta see this commercial. I don't know what y'all talking about.
I just looked at it while y'all was talking.
Where is Pepsi even based?
I don't know, but I fuck with some Mountain Dew. Ain't that a Pepsi product? Sunkissed, Harrison,
Maybe.
New York. Purchase, Harrison, New York. That's where the PepsiCo headquarters are. Where that's at?
Harrison, New York. I don't know.
Somewhere in New York.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you, research team. That was very helpful.
I feel like Labor Day also brings in a new set of movies for the fall too. Halloween coming up. I heard it's Netflix done dropped The Deliverance. I ain't seen it yet, but Street's been talking about it.
What is that about? What's the
It's about a pretty much a haunting, pretty much like a black version of the Poltergeist or Exorcist kind of. It's like a demon comes out of a house or something, or is it living in the house or something like that. But what I took away from the movie was, bro, it was some good ass acting in that movie.
Do y'all feel like, okay, because I'm looking up the movie, Dub. Do y'all feel like they be giving black movies a lesser rating or like judging them harsher than other movies Cause I done seen a whole lot of horror movies and some of them be
1000%.
trash. What'd you say?
I said 1000%. It's definitely, I would say it's graded on a scale or sliding scale or whatever.
Cause this say 33%, and I know for a fact it's better than that. Looking
I
at these
really
actors in it.
It got a little silly, probably like the last 20 minutes, like with the special effects and stuff. But up until then, like the acting and the story was good, and it was based on a true story.
I'm gonna check it out. I like to look up. Oh, go ahead, research team.
I meant to send that to you because I wanted to watch it because I'm not into like horror movies like that because I find them funny. I have some sick humor, I guess you could say. But yeah, I watch horror movies and I be laughing because I'm like, this is so unreal. Or it's just like really bad acting. But I did
the entertaining part, yeah.
But I did hear that it's like slightly controversial due to the fact that it's like talking about, basically it's like a demonic movie, and they were talking about how certain things on set were happening, and Lee Daniels prayed before they started.
Well, what Andre Day said was they had an apostle on set at all times, and he prayed before every scene with them.
Yeah.
Come on, black people.
I thought the movie was good, and this movie is no different than The Exorcist or Poltergeist or those same demonic movies. It's literally the same premise.
I'm gonna check it out. I love a good horror.
Black people.
Yeah, but see, I love movies that are always based on a true story. Most of these Exorcist ones are very much like that. And I feel like that's one of those taboo things of Black cultures where we're not willing to confront evil, right? Evil does exist. I mean, it's almost like you can't negate or you can't be dismissive of like evil forces. Like they definitely exist, and I truly enjoy exorcism movies because of that reason, because I do believe that there are evil spirits that take over people's they take possession over people's soul and their bodies, and because I just think that earth is old as hell. Like, think about how many souls, animals, spirit, body, humans have passed through this planet, right? And so, like, to believe that they just disappeared is ridiculous. And I think that plays into the larger argument about spiritual entities, energies and all that kind of thing. So
I'm glad you said that, because I was really gonna say, I feel like we as Black people, we are such a spiritual people. And we believe in spirits and stuff, but we be so afraid to like talk about it. It's like Voldemort. It's like, I don't even want to be involved. And it's like, well,
you can't say that name.
Yeah, and it's like you better recognize that evil spirit so that you can cast it out your life. But that's that everybody ain't tapped in. But anyway, I'm gonna check that out. And speaking of horror movies, I don't know if I talked about this last time. I saw the new Alien. Okay. For those that don't know, Alien is near and dear to my heart because it was one of my mom's, like, the scariest movie she ever seen. She said it was it and Alien. And I used to be scared as a child, but because she talked about how scary they were, for some reason they just made me feel close to her. So I went to see the new Alien. 10 out of 10. Okay.
Wait, is Sigourney in this one?
She's not, but she died.
I ain't watching it.
I know, but it was still good. She died in like number 3 or something. So, and then the rest of them was kind of trash. They had brought her back as like an alien clone or something. So I think it would have been weird, but I was kind of sad she wasn't in it. But it was still good. When they make like franchise movies and stuff, the 5th one, or I don't even know which number this is, be trash, but I feel like the Alien franchise been pretty good. So 10 out of 10. Go watch it. Oh, and I ain't gonna spoil it. It's a Black dude in it, and I was kind of mad at first, but they redeemed him. So go watch it.
All right, I'm a big, huge Alien fan, but I ain't going in the movie to go see that. I will scare myself in the comfort of my own home.
Baby, it was so scary. I was shook if
Yeah, I don't know. Unless I went with like, I used to love going on scary movie dates with guys because they're not really that scary to me. But then I like a good movie. I like a good scary movie that actually can get me. Because I remember seeing the scariest movie I first saw as an adult was what was The Ring? Y'all remember that movie?
The Ring. Wait, which
Okay,
one
That's
yeah,
a
I remember.
what did you?
was
Yeah.
it? The Ring or the Grudge that was making that weird noise?
Nah, it was The Ring. I think The Grudge came
The
after
Grudge
that.
made the noise. The Grudge was that weird cat thing. That was an Asian one or whatever. And The Ring was the little girl coming out the TV.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, scary movies for me are always a little bit different because sometimes 9 times out of 10 they don't scare me, but Alien is just scary because they do such a good job with the back then the original, right? The set design and
They did that.
all of that. Yeah, it's because the only one that's probably the closest I just watched the other day was Quiet Place with Lupe.
That's a good
One of
one.
my favorite franchises. The first two
Yeah,
are so good.
I
yeah,
agree.
yeah, and it's scary, right? Like it reminds me of The Last of Us. Like I just like
Bruh.
apocalyptic movies and shows. I really enjoy because those are real, right? Those are the ones that's what I'm saying with Alien. I think that what makes it scary is like we don't really know what aliens look like.
You don't know.
And they already here, right? And so it's like I was just talking to my bestie about it yesterday because we were cackling about how Boeing's sending them fools up to space and they can't go get them. And I'm like, ain't no way I'm getting on nothing. But Boeing barely
They're gonna be
flying
up there
people
a
right now.
whole year.
A whole year.
What the hell going on with Boeing, bruh?
I feel like the aliens done snatched their wig. I feel like the aliens done took away their technology because the way we begin, if you can't, how you go from being the premier? I mean, they are they had the monopoly on the plane game, and then y'all just stopped making planes. Okay, like who does that?
It's something going on behind the scenes.
I'm telling you, the aliens done took their technology away. They got their wig snatched. So yeah, we was talking about it yesterday, and I was like, yeah, because now they stuck up there, and they were sending them up 2 years ago, just every other weekend, and now y'all can't go get them. Now something ain't adding up. Something's
I mean,
not
they chilling
adding
for
up.
now because they made it to the space station, but they still can't come back till like next June or something.
You know how hot I'd be if I can't watch no football.
Okay.
Bro, I'll be so upset. Bro, they was only supposed to be up there for 2 weeks. They're gonna be up there for 60 weeks.
That's what I'm saying. Like, think about that. Oh, you packed for a quick trip.
Why is that?
They can't go get them. The module thing they flew up in malfunctioned. See, so they got to send another. They got to send another capsule up there to go get them.
No, thank you.
This is wild. What are they eating? Do they got
Being
food?
astronaut, they said. No, they got plenty of food. They made it to the International Space Station. They got food.
Yeah, they got
just stuck.
Yeah. That's the cool thing about having a space station, like in theory, and that's why it's up there, is for reasons like this. But it's just for my space nerds and cadets, if you think back, it had to been like a year or two ago, they were sending rockets up there. It was like the race of commercial space flight, right? And then now I guess that's kind of tailored down, but you still like if you want to convince me of space travel as a citizen, and then you send people in this round, I'm not gonna forget that. So I'm never going up there, unless it's a one way. We going to Mars or something. We ain't coming back. I'll do that.
I can't be on no space. I'm too claustrophobic.
Yeah, like I'm not going on a return. Yeah, I'm not going on a return trip. I'm not booking a two-way trip. No, I'm doing a one-way. I ain't coming back if I leave. Don't bring me back, please. Let me just when they make the space station on the moon, and then the moon, when we can go from the moon to Mars, and then when we can go from the moon to Jupiter and Saturn, I will take that flight. But I am not going now. No, thank you.
I'm good
But
on this one.
yeah, and I think a lot of that is like when you think about Boeing and being such a big corporation, it just goes back to the larger conversation about how these major corporations don't have any oversight. And it's just like, how do you just become that big? And you like, that's one of the major reasons why I haven't been flying as much is because they've had so many issues with their planes in the last couple of years. Well, mostly in 2023. And they probably got it on a gag order now because we're not hearing about it as much. But it's just like, I don't understand how you become that big and you can't do the main thing. You can't keep the main thing. And you and you're putting people's like lives, right? And so it's just interesting because I think when we were growing up, air flight travel was so dangerous. Remember how TWA, that flight that crashed in the Everglades? And like
I forgot about that.
Yeah. And so like planes used to crash and like Boeing came out like, nah, we make the safest planes. And then y'all do that for, we're older now. So you've been doing that for at least 20 years. And then you just all of a sudden y'all can't make planes no more. Doors falling off, windows blowing out.
Probably cut costs somewhere pertinent. As somebody who's been in consulting for 10 years, y'all would be shocked at the corners. Well, y'all probably wouldn't be, but the average person probably would be shocked at the corners companies cut when they lose in profit or whatever the fuck. And you be like, I don't think that's a good idea, but okay.
I could kind of see that because like when we even think back to the 90s, right, in big television, one thing that we find now as we're older, we find out how many major sitcoms either were stolen, like the actual original written was stolen and the idea makeup was given to someone else, or they were just cut completely. Yeah. So I could see that. Because when I found out that Living Single had been, and I know that's like a crazy pivot, but like when I found out Living Single was piloted and then somehow, some way, Sex in the City was birthed out of that was crazy. Or they was both piloted at the same time, but they took a little bit of Living Single.
No, it was Friends.
Friends. Sorry, y'all.
And Living Single was 10 times funnier than Friends.
I never watched Friends.
We always are.
I mean, Friends was funny. What you say, Doug?
I said I have never seen an episode of Friends.
Me neither.
I used to watch Friends because I had this white teacher. We always had these white teachers in Magnet, which was weird because it would be like the rest of the school would be like kind of ghetto. And then we had these white teachers. Anyway, I'm going on a tangent. And she loved Friends for some reason. And would be like, we'd be in 5th grade and she'd just be talking about Friends all the time. I'm like, what the hell is Friends? So then I used to watch it, but it was funny, but definitely not nearly as funny as Living Single.
Talking to 5th graders about Friends is like, that's for real funny. That's hilarious.
Right? Like, why are we talking about Friends all the time? So yeah.
That's so out of pocket. Did y'all, what was another favorite 90s sitcom? Anybody had one?
I've been watching them lately because I just leave the TV on BET for Dad. And they used to be playing random black 90s sitcoms. And I forgot how fun. I feel like people don't be talking about how funny them sitcoms used to be. I think my favorite was maybe Jamie Foxx.
I was gonna say, the Jamie Foxx show was like top tier.
Jamie Foxx was funny, yeah.
Martin
was funny.
What's
Family Matters?
Yep, Mr.
Family Matters was funny, y'all.
Oh yeah, Steve Harvey show, yeah.
Yeah,
Fresh Prince.
I was gonna say, I didn't get the opportunity like I needed to watch any of those things. Nah, we had a strict household. That TV was off. That's why I read so much. That TV was off at 8 o'clock. If it was Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune, and it was go see yourself to your room. So I didn't really. I didn't grow up. I had a different experience. I watched a lot of what was the like people be baffled that I never saw the Cosbys in perspective. Now that he
I ain't
fell
never
from
seen it either.
yeah. So it's one of those things where like now watching it because I feel like sitcoms are dated and I don't really care for comedy like that. I'm not a sitcom person. So I, old to the black sitcoms. I'm with it though. For the
You didn't
culture.
watch A Different World?
That research.
You didn't watch A Different World?
I did. But again, these are all I had watched all of these older. Like when my growing up sitcom was I used to watch Sailor Moon. Like that was the
It's
highlight
not a
of
sitcom.
it was the only real thing that I watched. I
Bruh,
remember
I
watching.
used to watch that too. Early
Yeah,
in
every day
the
you
morning.
morning. Yeah, before
Yeah,
school.
right
Yeah.
before school, yeah.
Yeah, like there was no
We
watching
went-
no TV. I'm telling you, Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune. There was no watching no TV in the house like that.
Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
I
I
used to
don't.
watch the hell out of Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune.
R.I.P.
Yeah,
Alex Trebek.
yeah. In the
Rest in peace.
news, you getting that Channel 7 news, WSVN, first thing in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. It was, and remember we had come from a generation of being outside too. We was outside to the
Facts.
to
We was
the
outside.
to the.
We was
I
outside
was outside.
playing.
We was outside playing, so I can't say those experiences only came later for me. And but I do appreciate them, and so yeah, shout out to the 96
And shout out to Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Hanging with Mr.
Because
Cooper.
we be forgetting about that.
Wayans Brothers.
Yeah.
Moesha.
Oh, Moesha. Now I used to catch Moesha because that's when Moesha and Monica became
R.I.P. Andale.
Yeah.
Her name is Brandy.
Who? Moesha and Brandy?
You said Moesha and Monica was beefing.
No,
like,
you heard what I
Brandy.
said. No, Moesha and Monica was beefing, and then everybody was like, nah.
Moesha and Monica was beefing.
They was beefing.
That's what I'm telling you. Her name is Brandy.
I know her name is Brandy, but I don't know for the listeners who remember when braids became like a staple, because at the same time Serena and Venus was outside with their beads in their head with their braids. Like I used to always get my hair plaited every summer.
So cool for that.
Yeah. So like braids was a big part of culture growing up for me, because I couldn't wait to get my plaits done and have them for the summer, because in the school year I feel like I didn't really have them. And then when Moesha came out, everybody was like, oh, she got braids year round. Like that was not a thing before. Not me growing up, for sure. No, I remember having
I didn't start getting braids till as an adult.
Every summer I used to get braids. Yes, it was like a treat, like to get braids for the
summer.
summer.
In middle school.
Nah, but you see, I know my grandma couldn't do no hair, so like she was, I had to go to my auntie, not my auntie. I went to one of our cousins on my granddaddy side. She used to do my hair, so she would do my hair year round. And remember, like French rolls and like remember what's the things? What was they called with the waves?
Finger waves.
Finger waves, yeah. Like, cause remember, it was a thing that's a big part of Black culture. Was when you were a kid, you in the bar, you at the hair salon every week, or if not every other week, you end up doing something.
I just had a thought the other day that I'm finna cut my hair off and get some pink finger waves.
Okay.
All right. It's gonna be fly. It's okay. Y'all don't see the vision. It's okay. Y'all gonna like it. You'll see.
It's your hair. I cut mine and people almost dropped. What?
It's beautiful hair.
It wasn't even that drastic for real.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's a beautiful look though. I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so okay, sir.
See, y'all I'm finna send y'all a picture of the pink finger wave.
No one was judging you. It was just one of
I heard
those.
judgment.
It was one of those joy pivots that you do, and that one was that was like across the fence, down the street, around the corner. And what nobody talking about no pink finger waves. But
We were talking about
anyways,
single ways though. Okay, you're right.
but yeah, so I feel so yeah. Let's get at that shout out to 90 sitcoms, BET still showing them out there. One thing that's coming up this week on television, prime time, by the time this come out, we would already have seen the debauchery, the foolishness, the hilariousness, the memes are gonna be wild. But we have the U.S. presidential debate coming live on, I believe, Tuesday this week, showing on all networks. And baby, when I tell you, I am gonna get my popcorn ready. It's like, I don't know just yet if I'm gonna watch it live or I'm gonna wait for the memes. Because the memes they call this the first meme election, presidential election, the battle of the memes. And an example is how are we in the upside down, right? So for shout out to Stranger Things, this is the strangest election cycle I think I've ever experienced, close to 2020. It's very strange because
this debate gonna be a sitcom itself.
Yeah. Like this gonna be better than SNL.
No, not SNL.
It is, because SNL used to, they usually
SNL kind of weak now.
I mean,
yeah, because they don't have nothing extreme because it's real life now. It's not, they can't joke about it because
it's happening every day.
Yeah. But honestly, these elections lately make me wonder what previous elections were like before I was tapped into politics, because I feel like America's history kind of go in a circle, and I just wonder how foolish politics were back in the day. I mean, they had a Watergate scandal, Reagan. Like, I just feel like this can't be the first time that politics was complete trash in American history.
I mean, I'm not saying not trash. I'm saying it's weird. Like, there is strange. It's an example. So we know gun violence is out of control in America, has been out of control in America, still is going to be out of control in America because people like their guns and they like their rights, right? And you find that, like you said, we're on this loop right now in life where, and as Doug mentioned, where the real thing is happening. Like the people, getting out of their car and throwing down in traffic, or people at the airport showing their hole behind, right? Like the extremist behaviors are already happening in real time. And so you have this most recent school shooting that takes place. And now to get Americans to feel like this is normalized, because think about it, it doesn't even it's so desensitized now that when it happens, we don't even talk about it. Like, Black people still getting killed by the police, we don't even talk about it, right? And so it's this it's this era, this way of desensitizing things that can be avoidable and preventable in American society. And it's on the ballot, right? When you have Tim Walz talking about it at a rally, and then you have JD Vance talking about it at a rally, right? And then you're seeing these two people talking to American citizens, and one says, this is a tragedy, I like guns, I'm a hunter, we should do something about it. The other is like, it's just a part of way of life. And it's like, is it though? Like, have we agreed as American people that that's okay? Like, when did we get okay with, and I say that in this way, when we think about politics, and we harped on this last episode, is what does the American government really do for us? Because we can't even cure fucking cancer. The fact that pediatric cancer is not cured is ridiculous, and that's because of Big Pharma. Let's talk about it.
Well, I think they probably secretly have a cure somewhere, but I ain't gonna start.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
theories.
There's a cure. There is some type of cure, maybe a cure. But I'm saying is like these are the things that happen in American society that, and I know that's like a big rant, but I'm just like, so as a society, we've accepted that school shootings are normal.
Well, I feel like I think we talked about this a little bit on the last episode. I feel like there's a broader awakening happening in America, and I feel like Americans are losing control in general. And I feel like after the pandemic, for real, people's eyes really, really, truly started to be open to the BS. And I feel like the divide now is a lot of us are like, oh hell no, what the fuck going on? And some people are just like, I don't know. I feel like they kind of harp on issues like guns and other shit, abortion, to really distract from the fact that the government don't care about none of us. They really not doing nothing for any of us besides billionaires. And the pandemic, I feel like, really showed us just truly how much they don't give a fuck about none of us. And I feel like some of these issues are just really truly a distraction from the real issue at hand, which is they don't care. We can't afford anything at all. Like, why is the medium like income to afford a house $106,000? People don't make that. People barely make $50,000. Like, people can't afford groceries. Every time I go to the grocery store, I spend $300 something. That's ridiculous. Y'all sent the article to the chat about rent prices that's really been fixed since 2016, but our eyes ain't been open because we talking about abortion and motherfuckers getting shot up and shit. I feel like the shootings, people are unhinged, people are tired, people want a change, and we don't know what else to do besides violence, because what else we gonna do? I feel like that's the real issue for real. Go ahead.
I don't think that people have become necessarily desensitized. I think just going through the pandemic, we all just became kind of isolated. Yeah. So a lot of people feel like, okay, I got my family. As long as I can protect these 5, 10, 15 people and they straight, then the rest of the world is going to figure itself out. But I just need to protect these people. So it's not that people don't care. It's just like, I need to protect what I can first and then think about the rest of it. You know what I'm saying?
And I think people also feel like, what can I do as an individual? What can I do if they're not gonna make laws to control guns and who has them and when you can use them and all this? What can I do?
Okay, so I'm gonna counter that because this is why. So one thing that I focus on in my actual academic career is how social media and media technology is a tool that gives us so much access to so much information at the same time that it creates a level of it's almost like a desanitizer. So an example, as we've been on the pod so far, this is breaking news. Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill was detained by police on his way to the stadium today for a moving violation. In his it looks like a Lamborghini or a Corvette. I'm watching this video and he's literally on face down, right outside the stadium, detained by multiple officers, pressed to the ground, handcuffs. They're trying to detain him for a moving violation. And you see people, the only reason why he probably is not dead right now is because multiple people pulled over, just like George Floyd, and started filming. So
sabotage. Them cops got money on the Jaguars. I ain't with it.
So you see what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying when you say no, we're desensitized because of how we have this access to this technology that we're getting things real time. And I'm as someone that can analyze and look at things in a very detailed manner, my immediate thoughts were if there were no cameras around and people didn't recognize him because he's one of the most recognizable people in Miami. You see a black man in a blacked out sports car, you pull him over for a moving violation, and that constitutes him being face ground with his head pressed against the concrete in Miami. Right now, my watch says it's 88 degrees.
It's a conspiracy.
And is he gonna play a good game today? You see what I'm saying? And we only saw that. And so when we talk about desensitizing our feelings or what is happening in real time, the perfect example is when that golfer got his behind pulled over, and that morning before I forget what golf event it was, and everybody was just like, you know, they I mean the tears of the willows were coming out.
Scotty Scheffler, I forgot which I think it might have been Augusta.
It might have been Augusta,
the Masters.
but you know, they oh my God, how dare they?
I just saw the video of Tyreek. The crazy thing is he literally on the street outside the stadium.
Bruh.
Let me look.
Are you serious?
Send the video.
You pulling him over outside the stadium, bruh?
Outside his job. It's fans walking by looking at this.
Send the
That's
video.
I'm trying to get to work,
Bruh.
What?
So I love that was breaking news as we were talking about it, because I'm like, no, they big corporations gave us these phones. We have this technology now, and it is a tool that is used to desensitize us because we get so much of the human brain is a perfect it is a perfect organism, right? It's perfect. And it could do 1,000, a million things. But what it can't do is take that much trauma visual images in their head constantly over and 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 over again. Right? Because that's like a loop, right? That's a loop of like these terrible things that are constantly happening. So I say that to say about, you know, the unfortunate thing about gun violence in America, the unfortunate thing about police brutality in America is it has a level of desensitization because of technology, period. The only reason why George Floyd was more impactful, and I did this in my dissertation, the only reason why it was more impactful than Trayvon Martin was because of the phones. That was it. Because believe you me, if there were cameras out the night that Trayvon Martin was being chased down by that white man, after he was on the phone with the police and the police told him to stop chasing him, come on. So I beg to differ. And I beg to, as we talked about in the next episode, whoever becomes elected in this, you know, current for the presidency of the United States, we got to hold them to a level of accountability, or things are just going to upend themselves and they're just going to change. And, you know, kind of like what Twin alluded to is like, there's a day of reckoning that has to happen in America. And it's almost like we fast tracked for it. For real.
Sadly, one of the choices does not take accountability for anything, really.
But that's I just sent that book.
At least one of the choices.
Yeah. No, I mean, I just sent that to the research team. That's the best thing that I found, and why I understand why they do not want us in education. They don't want us reading books. Is one of the biggest books that I read was by this woman named Susan Gordon, and it's called The Nervousness Government. And I'm messing up the title just a bit. Research team, pull it up real quick. But I sent it to her because, you know, she had been going through her own struggles in corporate. And I'm like, when you realize that accountability is one of the ways that they function, they don't need to be accountable. accountability is like the furthest thing from what any major corporate job gives a crap about. Accountability to what? The only thing they're accountable to is the shareholders. And really,
For real.
that's not them being accountable to them. That's because the shareholders invest and they want their ROI. They need that update. Right. So that's why you have on the low all these big corporations firing all these people and you're not hearing about it because what they've desensitized it in a way that, oh, it's normal. It's normal to go to the grocery store and spend $300 every week. Like, that's not normal. It's normal that, you know, a kid can get a rifle from his father for a Christmas gift and then decide to go kill some people in a school. That's normal. And that's the thing. It's like none of these things are normal. And when we're thinking about this election cycle, you need to be thinking more about like, what are we going to do about this mess? It's the one, it's the nervousness, I believe it's called, and those who are listening, I'm telling you, you read this book, it's gonna mess you up. Race and Social Equity, A Nervous Government. Because it really talks about how it identifies all these areas of why without radicalizing the Black narrative, because I believe, I want to say, don't misquote me, research team, check it out. I believe she is a white woman, but it
Susan
really
P. Gooden, that definitely gives white
it's
women. But
it gives white women, but her book really looks at how America would never have real equity. So that's why I have beef with Vice President Harris, because that's one of her main talking points. It's like, well, we got to level the playing field. And it's like, we all on this pod right now, we all watch football and we know, like you just said, was that like, how does Tyreek go play after that? Was that more about like, was that just a happenstance? Or does somebody got, you know, sports betting is so big right now. Was that something more related to that? Like, I don't know. But you really find that in equitable societies, when we're thinking about real equity, like, it's never going to happen. And the gag is that you believe that it is. And with that, we're going to take a quick break on politics, and we might come back to it. We might not, but thank y'all for listening. Welcome back. To clarify, and I'm gonna just say this, Dr. Susan Gooden, I don't know if you're Black or you're white or you are a mixed race based on your looks, but I really want the listeners to know, like, your book changed my life. It gave me a different perspective on how race as a construct really impacts our ideals of what we think about when we consider equity. And like, again, if you read that book, it will change your perspective on how much the game is actually rigged for real. And I just, on the break real quick, I just looked her up, and she is the Dean and Professor of Public Administration and Policy at L. Douglas Wilder School of Government and Public Affairs at Virginia Commonwealth University. And again, the professor I was taking at the time, you know, really saw that my engaging in the text was really critical for me as, you know, someone that really looks into policy and how it is created by the people that govern us, that decide these things. And a lot of that came out of George Floyd and policing, over policing, because I never was on the train for defund the police and all that discussion, and that's a pivot that we don't even need to get into. But when you really look at the policies that are put in place by police departments and how they operate, it really gives you more clarity and understanding. Because I took a couple classes at the good FAMU on policing, which were incredible, especially being in Tallahassee at the time. And so, you know, it's just one of those things where it's like, when you have a better idea of the structures put in place, it then has you beg to ask the question, like, oh, that kind of makes sense. So how do we fix that? Shout out to one thing though. I want to say, since we were talking about police, and this shout out to the sheriff of Broward County. He is a Black man, and I just really enjoy him. What's his name? Hold on, y'all. Gregory Tony. I just want you to know, brother, PhD, Dr. Sheriff Gregory Tony, I see you. He was just one of the bigger elections of this 2020-24 cycle. And congratulations, man. I really love what you're doing with Broward County, and I just want to give you big ups. And with that, yeah, sports. So, now I feel some kind of way about the Dolphins. I hope that based on the news, that was breaking news, Rosenhaus says that Hill will play today.
Yeah,
So
he don't play.
I hope that
It
motivates him.
was a jug at play though.
Yeah, I
You
think
think so?
somebody. Yeah, I think
they
somebody was
jugging and
like,
finessing. They was trying something.
mm-hmm.
Because
But
they're
That
thank
was
goodness,
uncalled for.
but thank goodness
All of them.
football's back. I mean, this is the first official week of football. Well, NFL football. We have had college for 2 weeks, and that was a blessing in itself. I got to see our rivals lose 2 weeks in a row. They lost. I'm speaking about FSU. Sorry, y'all, if y'all fans out there. I am a Miami Cane fan. They did lose in Dublin, Ireland, to Georgia Tech ACC game. Then they came home and lost to Boston College, another ACC game. So they lost on 2 continents in 2 weeks
Go Jackets.
to 2 different teams. Let's go. Clap it
Not
up.
2 continents in 2 weeks to 2 different teams.
And the Canes, they rolling right now. It's just they looking real good. Probably gonna crack that top 10 this week. But the NFL, that's today. As of this recording, this is the first official week of the NFL. We did have the Ravens and Chiefs play on Thursday night. That was the first official game. Sadly, the Ravens lost. I root for Lamar just because he's South Florida all day.
all day.
Pompano.
Day.
So I do like I wanted the
Florida.
Ravens over the Chiefs, but the Chiefs they got a dynasty right now. It's going to be difficult to beat them at any time. So it is what it is.
Yeah. I want you to hold that because we have another breaking news moment happening as we
Dak?
are. No. Kendrick Lamar will perform at the 2025 Apple Music Super Bowl halftime show.
Okay, they not like us. That's what's up. Okay. That's big. That's big though.
That's huge. What?
I saw that news about Dak too.
What happened with that? What's
Dak
breaking?
just got 4 years, $240 million. That comes to $60 million a year. Highest paid NFL player ever currently. That's crazy. Because him and Jared been fighting for like months. And so they just paid CD, they just paid Dak now. So they locked up.
Okay. And so
Cowboys still ain't gonna do nothing, but I mean,
he's
it's
still,
for him.
yeah. I was gonna say, it's always Cowgirl Nation over here. They are not America's team. Okay. And we can resume back into the NFL talk. I think so I have to ask the question: Are we ready for another dynasty of football? Because it's interesting when you said that. I like Lamar just because of obviously being from Florida, but it's almost like in Patty. It's Patty against the NFL at this point. I really feel like because he came in, because we were talking about deals just now, my understanding is that his first structural contract, didn't he give half of it away to charity? And I really feel like that when he made that pledge, I don't know if he held it up. It'd be interesting to know if he actually paid that money out. But it feels like it's some woos going on with the Kansas City Chiefs because
I don't know nothing about no charity. I don't know nothing about that. I ain't never heard that.
If you look up his first the largest contract he had, he gave half of it away. He pledged half of his salary to charity. He did a Melinda Gates. And It's giving. I paid it forward, and now the ancestors are rewarding me because we all seen this man, daddy, right?
He a nigga.
Regardless of who he
Straight like
chose,
that.
regardless of who he
Nah,
chose to
literally
have,
straight like that. Everybody
yeah,
got that uncle that he is. That's his daddy.
Yeah,
you
he the
know,
one. He that
he
one.
don't. And if you think about that lineage of black men that has to be flowing through his veins from his daddy, see, I feel like Patty is showing us that he a 101, regardless of who he's chosen to marry and procreate with, who. But for real, I'm starting to feel like, because that toe that stopped them from winning the game, the Ravens, that's the biggest toe I ever seen in my life. That's a huge toe.
Bro was out though. Bro's out.
He was out. But my first thoughts were, when I saw it, and you could tell me, my first thought was like, because I didn't see it real time, I saw the highlights, was that man, like how did he not, the games on, this is a game-winning catch. How did he not have any spatial awareness of where his feet were? But then it's like, when you see the angle, it's like he got a big old toe. His toe had to be like 2 inches long.
Nah, he definitely has spatial awareness. The fact that it was that close, that means he really was trying to get that toe in there. He couldn't do it. Big
Y'all
toe.
are silly.
But one thing I did see come across my feed about this particular game, the game from Thursday night, Kansas City Chiefs and Baltimore Ravens, there were a bunch of fair-skinned people that were upset that Lift Every Voice and Sing was saying during the opening ceremonies, which is crazy because it's not like they replaced the national anthem and did Lift Every Voice and Sing. It was just in addition to the national anthem, and people were upset.
I did not
So I went
engage.
to.
Go ahead, research.
I want to say I went to a baseball game recently, maybe like 2 weekends ago, and they did Lift Every Voice and Sing, and 4 people who do not look like us proceeded to sit down, and then they sang the national anthem and they proceeded to stand up. I said, "It's what? We
Like, what's the
all here
big
together,
deal? They can't do 2 songs. What's up with
right?
that?
Like,
It is stuff like that makes it very difficult for me not to look at white people sideways. Because why are you upset at that? Why?
It's one of those things, though, to be honest. When you're a colonizer, and that's what your ancestors were, to be decolonized takes a lot of effort and work. And honestly, it don't feel good to decolonize your mind. And I say that as, like, we talked about this, and we've talked about this offline, is as someone that's radicalized now, it took a lot of decolonizing my mind on what I had been taught, and it didn't feel good. So it doesn't feel good to know that they are playing a song that is specifically attributing to the equivalent of the Black person's national anthem, right? So it just doesn't feel good. And that just goes back to being a colonized society, or having lasting impacts of, colonization in America, because it would be no different if, like, how, like, in New Zealand and I think Australia, they have the haka, which I think is super cool, when they do the tribal, either celebration or welcoming. And, like, people
yeah,
are
I like that.
people are like usually initially like weirded
Right.
out by it, but like it's super powerful and you can't help but like be moved. It's like, how dare Black people have a song that lifts them out of their emancipated you know,
I was
reality.
actually thinking of something very similar because in the NHL, for instance, if they're playing in the United States or whatever, but they're playing Calgary or Toronto or Montreal, which are all Canadian teams, they'll do the U.S. national anthem and they'll do the Canadian national anthem. What's the difference? You're still singing the national anthem
Right.
for a nation of people. Yes, we do live in the United States, but Black people, just in general, are their own nation of people. So if you don't complain about singing another country's national anthem, what's wrong with singing the equivalent to ours?
It's again, where we live in a post-colonial society, and these are just these conversations that Black people in our own plight and struggle and striving to even live here don't even attain that. Like, we are actually a nation within a nation, right? And like, what does that really mean? What does
Facts.
that feel like? And like you said, the fact that like now, and even research team, you're at a sporting event and now they acknowledge, you know, this another nation within a nation. It's like, what the if I see people respond in that way, then you're unwilling to change. You're unwilling to embrace the new. You then want to hold on to the old guard. And I think that's really, you know, that's the one thing I love about being a historian is like, an example would be what Lift Every Voice and Sing was such a beautiful poem that, you know, turned into, that was a song, to uh, talk about the pride that Black people had to even, quote, air quotes here, lift themselves out of the poverty and impoverishment and disenfranchisement of slavery to be any
Right.
to become anything. And you have a song like that created, which I believe was birthed out of Florida Memorial University here in Miami Gardens. And so it's one of those things at HBCU. It's just one of those things where like Black people have always had to create their own opportunities in this nation. Black people have always had to create their own paths. And that goes back to Dr. Gooden's book, is like, but there is a large part of American citizens in this country who do not want the playing field even. They don't want that.
I think the crazy thing is because I actually read the lyrics to the song, the poem this morning. It's actually it's pretty long, but it's not racially specific to us. It does allude to like the plight of the Black person, and where we came from as far as this country, and it kind of speaks about traveling from Africa to here, and that's like in totality of the poem. But the Star Spangled Banner is the story of a battle. Like you can talk about something that was traumatizing in the Star Spangled Banner, but we can't talk about our plight in this country. Like but it's still not racially specific. They don't say nothing about being Black or African or nothing. So it's like, what's the problem? It's just a song.
It would be equivalent to, you know, it's just one of those things that again, one of the reasons why I do what I do now is because this idea that Black history is somewhat separate from American history. Black people built America, okay? Like our blood, our soil, our toil, our tears built.
We was there for sure.
Built America, and to suggest otherwise is ridiculous. So have many immigrants who have come into America, built America. That would be Irish, that would be Italian, that would be Chinese, you know. And so this idea that, you know, and that's the problem with white supremacy, white, you know, domination, is that it wants to whitewash everything. And I give this a great example because like you said, you looked at the lyrics. One thing that I love to bring to the forefront when we think about even something like music or poetry, is how much of what we listen to or we tap into in America was created by Black people.
I mean, I think all modern music was created by us. Like, look at these girls we got at the top of music right now: Lotto, Glow, Meg, who we spoke about earlier in the Pepsi commercial, Cardi. I think they all had pretty good summers. Who y'all think had the biggest one?
So I
Man,
want to say Meg, but let me give a little more to that. Have y'all seen Miley Cyrus lately?
Yes.
It's
I
almost
haven't
like
seen her lately, but
it's
to
like
me, she one of the great whites for me.
The Great Whites.
she's one of the
I
great
fuck
whites
with
who
Miley.
now she is one of the great whites who now has turned into the modern day Tina Turner.
what?
It's almost like she was waiting on Tina Turner to die to become her.
I like
That's a
Miley.
wild take right there. That was wild.
I say it because one thing that I do, I'm not a Swiftie, but one thing I do think that Taylor Swift does best is she maintains that image of the everyday white girl. She maintains it, she holds on to it, she don't
Yeah.
stray from it. She really owns that as an artist. And there's a level of appreciation with that. But and also that's why I felt like when Beyonce and her always have had this ongoing battle over music, and to even see now that Beyonce was like, well, since y'all won't give me the best out of that genre against her, I'm gonna just be in everybody genre. You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna be in everybody genre now.
Yeah, the
Because
real flex.
that's the real flex. Guess what I can do? I could be in every single genre. So yeah, I think it was good to bring in that context because with Meg, you know, having the year she had last year and just the struggle I've been listening to Meg since Tina Snow and Riller, and when she was signed to I forget the name of the label that kind of tried to screw her over. But
That was Carl Crawford 18 something. It was a number. I do know that.
Yeah, and so I love that. I think we root for Meg because we were there. We saw what she went through, and she definitely did. I would say Glow is a favorite second. Glow, Flow, Meg, and Glow are the best rappers out right now. Lotto,
I think Glow probably had the biggest summer for real.
Meg did because Meg can tap into the fact that she got a
Glow.
Yeah,
I think I gotta say Glow. I love Meg, but I feel like the summer was Glow summer for real.
I don't know if
It's 7 p.m. Friday, 95 degrees. I ain't got no nigga.
I guess in context to have Rihanna be singing your song at the Olympics in
You see what I'm
Paris.
saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I would say that does bump Glow up, but from a delivery of an album standpoint, because like again, with Glow, I've been listening to Glow since FNF. And I was just like, that's when she ain't had no teeth. And her she was just, straight out the streets. And I love those kind of stories because it's just you know that somebody like that, they have a for themselves, and like it takes being lifted up out of those situations to become successful, right? Like somebody had to see something in her and be like, I'm gonna take a chance on you. Because when she filmed FNF, I don't think she was signed to Gotti them yet. I think that came after.
Wait, you said she ain't had no teeth.
Yeah, she had different teeth. She ain't had a teeth she had right now.
Oh my gosh.
She
Go
was
look
not.
it up.
Wow.
Go look it up. Go
You
look
know
it
how
up.
P is.
She
I love
did.
Glow though. I seen this
Yeah.
interview. I don't know how old the interview is, but I seen this interview she was doing, and she was basically saying how people say, "Oh, well, the industry made her do this and making her do that." She was like, "Don't nobody make me do a thing." Okay,
Right.
a hoe. She was like, "A hoe gonna be a hoe regardless. I fuck who I want when I want, and that's it." And I was like, "You know what? You know
But
what?
but that's what I'm saying is I think it took a Memphis entity like Gotti them. I think they CMG or CMC or something like that for them to sponsor her. That's what I'm saying. That I felt like it took somebody from her hood to do that for her because she's, like I said, one of the best. She is hands down one of the better rappers, and I love that her and Meg instantly collaborated together on Meg's new album. And I just think that was, or was it Glow was on her album? Either, I think it was both, something like that. But I love that you had Memphis and Texas link up like that because that goes back to those, old school, UGK days, down south, like Chopped and Screwed type music where you had all these southern rappers like kind of collaborating together to create, incredible music. And it's the opposite of what we saw with Cardi and Nicki and like Lil' Kim, where it was almost like, well, I gotta have the whole throne. And I feel like seeing Big Glow and Meg collaborate was pretty cool. So yeah, shout out to both of them. I think they won the summer for sure. Cardi, like I said, I just got different takes on her, but I wish her the best. And with that, though, we really want to close out the music segment when we're thinking about, I really, really love this song, Thank God, by Tip, Young Dro, and Kirk Franklin.
You like it?
I love that song.
I
Because
haven't heard it. I ain't listen.
I sent it to the group. I'll send it again.
I
Oh,
love
my
that
bad.
song just because it speaks to, I've seen Kirk talk a little bit. He's had an interesting career, right? And he manages to navigate in such a way that, I have my opinions on Christianity and all those things, but I do enjoy good spirituals. And it reminds me of it gives me a little bit of Pac in it with the da na 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 I ain't mad at you. It gave me that kind of feel, like, because when we heard that Pop was gone, and it's like, I want to give black men their flowers while they're here. And if I hear a black man just thank God knowing that he should have been taken out of the and he not, and he giving thanks to God, like, I think that's pretty cool and special, especially Dro, because we ain't really seen Dro like that. Dro be on stuff every here and there, but just hearing his voice, I was just like, man, like, I love that. I just love it.
I seen Dro at the little A-Town Music Festival a couple of weeks ago, and that shit was so lit. Shout out to Young Dro. But I put this on the list because y'all cousin sent it to me, and I feel like he was
Are they not your cousin?
trying to reach out. You said what?
Oh, okay. I was like, are they not your cousin too? But I get where I understand.
No,
what you're saying
they're not. They're my
Yeah.
twin.
I don't know
Yeah.
what cousin it is.
I got it.
Your-
I know what you're saying. I'm gonna put it
My
in chat.
brother.
You ain't
My brother.
Oh,
gotta- you ain't have to. Okay.
nah,
Alright.
but ain't no reaching out, because like we said, I love one of the biggest campaigns of the 2024 election is we ain't going back. I like that slang. And the abusers have been reaching out and I don't even respond. So I'm with you. I don't think ain't no olive branches for, I don't have an olive branch to give nobody for the rest of this year. Maybe
I'm just saying that I feel like I just need to get out that it did make me feel some type of way because music was definitely one of our things, and he know I love Tip. So, sir, if you're listening to this, fuck you, but I still love you because you my brother.
Wow.
Okay, and with that,
Alright.
yeah, we're
Okay.
gonna take a quick break and we're gonna get
Mhm.
into the next segment, which is
Family topic of the day. All right. So this is a new
Dun, dun,
segment.
dun.
Oh, we ready now?
yeah.
It's a new segment that we have, guys. I feel like because we have such a different family dynamic, I don't know if we ever introduced this topic. We have such a different family dynamic than most people that I feel like we can, bring something to the table in terms of things that plague or are interesting in Black families. And so today, I think we talked about this a bit last week, but what reminded me of this was when Rich Homie Quan died and his girlfriend, she been his girlfriend for like 15 years. They got kids together. And I know marriage ain't for everybody, but usually in that situation, somebody's stalling on getting married. And so I just wanted to pose the question, and I really want Dub opinion from the male point of view. Why is being a baby mama less of a commitment than getting married? Like, I feel like people be okay with popping out babies for folks, but then when it's time to get married, oh well, no, I don't know. But you already tied to this person for the rest of your life. So that's something that baffles me, and I wanted to bring the question to the group. What y'all think?
I think for me, because I say I'm traditional, but I'm learning some parts are. Anywho, I don't understand it. I don't understand why people intentionally have children with one person, like multiple children. We're not just talking about like, oh, this was a one-off. You have, multiple children with this one person. You are raising this human. You're pouring love. You're educating them. You're developing them. You're showing them, life skills. But you feel like the actual marriage is too much of a commitment. That seems odd and slightly off to me. But also, it's easier to leave a kid than it is to leave a marriage in some cases. So, yeah, because you could really just up and leave a kid. In the marriage, there's some legality that happens with it.
You have to say it like that.
I'm just saying.
It's true.
Well, I think that's what makes, being in a marriage more difficult, because when you're in a marriage, it's as opposed to just having the child and raising the child's going to do whatever you say. In a marriage, you're dealing with somebody that has their own mind and can think for themselves and can rebut whatever you're saying. So that's the difference in that.
So it's a level of control.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as far as what makes one easier than the other, yeah, definitely.
But why would you want to have a tie to somebody for the rest of your life that you're not willing to go through that with? That just seems strange to me.
No, but you're speaking about it like on the other side of it after you've already had the child. Maybe you did want it with that person at one point in time, but shit, things change.
But then it's like,
I feel like I need more than that, Doug. I feel like I need more. You got to elaborate. That ain't enough.
Yeah, because like if you like, and I'm thinking specifically of a situation like you with this person, y'all together for 15 years or whatever the fuck, y'all got kids together. You know the girl want to get married, but you don't want to make that commitment. But
are we talking about just reproducing, or are we talking about being married, or are we talking about doing both?
Like Janae Aiko and Big Sean type thing?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I don't know if we could talk about them because they're just kind of strange in general.
I'm just saying in general, like in situations that often happen where you have multiple kids and y'all are so-called in a relationship and have been for years, but not married, and it's not understood that we're not getting married. Like one of the parties wants to get married.
All right, look at it. Well, I'll tell you how some men think. That's all. I mean, I don't know how women think. Some men say. I think a lot of men gene chase. So an athlete will look for another athletic woman to have a child with, even though he may not fuck with her like that, but he just want to have a baby with her because what that kid could be. Or a scholar might look for another scholar. You get what I'm saying?
Now that's interesting.
And this is how men really think like this. I'm telling you.
I mean, I believe you do.
I have
so, yeah.
never heard that, but that makes sense.
I have. Chad Osinko used to talk about that all the time. All his kids he have kids with, they're all athletes. All of them.
Perfect
Now,
example.
that
I
makes-
forgot all about that, but yes, he did
Yeah,
say that.
yeah.
Yep.
All of his kids are athletes. Where he had babies from girls he knew growing up. All his kids, like he was friends with them, and yeah. So I would say though, and this is something that I think Twin you do a okay job with when you talk about these perspectives, because we're leaning into Dub to give us some kind of guidance, but at the same time, Dub has actively made the choice not to do that, right? Like that's another big thing that we learned when we saw Dr. Bryant's podcast with Cam and Nick Cannon is, and even on Pivot, Ryan Clark talked about it, is that the biggest difference of why those men were able to do that is because they had money. If they did not have it, and a perfect example is Elon Musk.
Correct.
Has the same type situation. Elon got a whole bunch of kids with random
Correct.
people.
A whole bunch of kids.
With random people that
kids he
he's
got?
never been married to. He got like 8 kids. He might have
it
less.
really doesn't make any sense. How many?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I think the male dominant that, as Doug was just alluding to, yeah, they do look for the procreation. And I've said it. And so I say that as an alpha personified, the divine masculine, is that I have always looked into it like that. Like all sperm are not created equal. And I look at it like a death sentence. So
Okay.
but most women do not, though. They don't look at it like that. They look at it in the romantic, flowery, Care Bears, clouds, and rainbows and shit. And it's like, that's not how 18 years gonna really look. And once they have them, they could give a fuck about them kids.
Right.
And that comes from somebody that was abandoned by their mother. So, like, in perspective, I know what not to do. And so that's why I have abstained from having children. But I think that I don't think it's a conversation about commitment. I think it's a conversation about her. Your willingness to stay in a relationship with someone that doesn't want to give you an outcome that you want. I'm pretty sure if she decided to leave, she could find that in another man who will not only marry her, but also to marry her and take care of her kids. But see, that's a lot of hard work, right? That's a lot of growth.
Ding, ding, ding.
And that's the thing that as divine feminines, we have to understand is like, we need to be able to walk away from situations that if it's not giving us what we want out of it, leave.
Yeah.
Leave.
I just want to say, P, I feel attacked, but I'll let you know offline. But wow, that's a word.
I mean, and I I don't know. I didn't, and you obviously know I have no idea what is that triggering that attack. That's why. But I really
we know, but I definitely.
Yeah, because and that's just me being like the willingness that we accept in things, and when you have acceptance about the choices that you make, especially when it comes to procreating and commitments, there is a level of willingness that goes with it. And your eyes being wide open. Yes, there are times when you're deceived and there is a level of deception at play where you might not see the clear picture. But at 15 years, girl, you got the picture. Okay?
Yes, and I'm glad you said that, P, because I was not trying to allude to, it's completely the man's fault, for wasting your time or whatever. Because people waste your time when you allow them to. So but I was just curious about, y'all know, I'd be wondering about the mind, the psyche. I just be curious, like, because to me, if I don't want to marry you, I don't want to procreate with you either. That means I don't want any type of long-term commitment to you at all. So I was just curious about, but
I'm good enough.
some
To have your
men,
child but not your last name?
yeah, that's strange to me. But I also realize that there are a lot of men who kind of just want to spread their seed around. Like they have this weird like legacy, like they want to leave their legacy even though they don't have nothing to leave. So it's just a completely different mindset that I don't understand. But now I have insight. It's making sense. So thank you.
Yeah, and again, I think um, you know, we can seg right into 3LW, living, learning, and loving while black. It's like when you think about the question of what are some happy life milestones outside of marriage and kids, it's like as someone that doesn't have those things and have success, it's like I asked you that question when we were on a walk the other day. Was like what will define what is happy, what is success, right? And for me, if I decide to have a child right now, I'm going in that willingly knowing that I'm going to be a single parent because I don't, what do I have? I'm not married. I'm not, I'm not in a high level commitment. And that would mean that if I willingly got pregnant, that I'm willfully signing up to be a single mother, right? And what financial responsibility that's going to come with that. That's just about being an adult and the choices and the decisions that we decide to make. And so will that make me happy? I don't know, but for most women, I just think that's the hormonal part of just being a woman and want to create. And you talked about it to me before, in experience in pregnancy that is something that most women like to embrace. But as someone that has both the divine feminine and the masculine personified, I look at it very, very differently. And so, yeah, what are some?
Yeah, I put this question here. I was interested in y'all thoughts. I put this question here because I think we talked about this last time. I was saying how most of my friends are like getting married and getting pregnant and stuff, and I am like really happy for them. They look like they're glowing. It's like my friend said her wedding was the best day of her life. And I feel genuinely happy for them. And I want to have the same feeling, but like those aren't really things that I want. So I just been thinking lately, like, what's something else besides like getting pregnant and getting married that's like a huge life milestone that I can feel great about, or that people feel great about in general. Maybe I just need
I
to have
think
a party for myself. What you finna say, research team?
I think for me, and I can only speak for me, like those are great milestones for people who want to have them. But I think society kind of puts a pressure on you to make you have tunnel vision. Like that's it. That's what your goal is. You can't have anything else. Because if it's not a kid, if it's not a husband, then something's wrong with you. But people don't talk about like the goals you have or milestones you have before you even attain those things, like before you can even get to that step. I think for me, one of the major goals or milestones was like simply just, graduating from college. I know it sounds like small or like that's the norm, but to be able to say I graduated from one of the top HBCUs, if not the number one HBCU, um, that's
Okay,
huge.
no, you want to dub edit that out.
But also another I'll say another milestone, you know, after that would just be being able to function as an adult, like being able to pay bills and not be like extremely broke. Like I think those are all major milestones because people aren't doing it. Like people are struggling. So I think for me, it's like the little things, being able to like find those quiet moments and being at peace with certain things and being able to say, hey, when I was 20, I had this mindset. And now that I'm this big old age, there's been some growth, there's been some acceptance, there's been some realization. So I think being able to say that and being able to look back and say, hey, you know, I grew up a little bit and I've learned some things, had some life experiences. Those are major milestones for me because people not growing up, people not doing those things. People are really walking around unhinged at their big old age.
I feel that because like some of the people like you look back and see from high school, you'd be like, you really living like that? Like
That's true, y'all.
this what you doing?
Mm-hmm.
We old. Like
Yeah.
That's true.
that's how you live that. Damn, homie. You was the man.
I
For
mean,
real, like our two
yeah.
cousins that lost it on Facebook last week.
right.
I don't know what you're talking about, but let's not go there.
Listen, bro.
Right,
Let me
yeah.
tell you something. Let me tell you something.
So you don't know?
No.
You don't know? You don't know that?
The
had a
way
whole-
I literally have no clue what you're talking
We
the
about.
had a
way they
whole
was
cousin FaceTime dub for like an hour.
no, we was on for more than that. The cousins, we had two cousins squabbling on Facebook. Squabbling, bro.
Over a man.
Wow.
Some man.
We said who we said was
You-
rolling
you
around
know-
in
you
their
know these
grave.
cousins-
Somebody send me the link because I don't know what y'all talking about.
We ain't even got
It
no
ain't
link,
no
bro.
link, bro. No,
It
we
was-
had to get on the FaceTime because she deleted. She done went on live for 30 minutes and deleted it. But for some reason, P could still. It was still playing for P, so we had to listen on FaceTime. Who ghetto?
Hey man,
And this
we
person
said
is 37 years old.
yeah,
Okay.
and we were saying that who was rolling around in their grave? Uncle Marvin and ain't
delete.
Edit
You
that
see,
out.
that's what. Yeah, I gotta. Come on now.
well, I mean, Uncle Marvin ain't had nothing to do with it, but it was like,
Delete.
yeah,
Edit that
it
out.
wasn't no direct. This the funny part about how big our family is, which I love.
Listeners, this is how y'all know this shit is real. Bro.
Yeah. That's what I'm
We
saying.
are
Like
actual family. We are actual.
We are
cousins.
for
This is
real.
that's what I'm saying is it ain't had nothing to do with that uncle. It was if there were some of our ascended ancestors roll around in their grave, we were like it had to be them too because the
My
way
uncle and Dub's grandma.
yeah
Great
because it was like these
Now that
cousins.
you said my grandma already know
Thank you.
which
Thank
one
you.
of my first cousins that you
I
talking
sent you a
about.
message.
Already know who you talking about.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You.
Already
Yeah.
know who you talking about.
And so, that's the crazy part was like we had two cousins squabbling and the other cousins that know the two cousins that they cool with these cousins. They both
I've heard about these two cousins fighting before, so okay, now it makes a little sense.
and they on the
Wait,
sidelines.
Hold on, this is not their first squabble?
From what I know, I don't know the whole story. This goes back years. Like this is
Yeah, I
this
think
is not the
they
first
had-
time. Yeah.
Ain't that what Simone said? Oh, delete that.
Mind you,
C-Bay said.
I was trying to discredit one of the cousins because I was like, nah, they're not related.
Yeah, you was.
I forgot.
Well,
I was like, y'all sure?
That's
the one
how-
that's my first cousin. That's definitely my first cousin. The other one, I don't know. I just heard about this person.
That's what I'm saying. I know your
real
first
was
cousin.
like, no, she ain't
It's
related.
it's the other one I was talking about that I was like, I need some facts that's checked because I don't know. I had to call my mama. Like,
I
hey,
called her mama and everything. I said, girl, no, she is in the family.
she on the branch, bruh.
She on the branch.
That branch is a big old tree. I'm telling you. And that was the funny part about it was like, man, they got, was that like, it was just a sad day
It was.
for our family.
Come on,
because like I told our little chat, if you ever come at me on Facebook like that, I am coming for you and your family. They're gonna be like,
Facebook is a dark, nasty place, bro.
It
It's
is.
nasty over
It
there. I do not go on Facebook. It's nasty over
I
there.
don't be going over
bro,
there either.
bro. That's why it was so big. Twin and research team. I am never on Facebook. And the way that the algorithms put that at the top of my list, and I literally dropped it in the chat. I said, "Who they talking about?
I
Who they talking about?
you,
Cletus?"
you are the one, because I know I wasn't on no Facebook. Oh yeah, because you thought they was talking about. You thought they was talking about the other cousin.
I was on there, but I had like bypassed because I was like, she always on here talking about something. But then when you P had brought it to the chat, I was like, oh, this is serious. What happened? Because you don't never be on that thing.
They was
I don't
wilding, man.
I don't partake, and there was a lot of low blows. But I say that to say that
It was a lot of low blows.
just
Hey,
know,
man.
just know,
we can't just talk about the low lows, but
just know,
out of
fam.
pocket.
Like,
Out of
don't ever just listen. We try to rise to higher vibrations on this podcast. But if you ever have somebody in your family call you a big back, call them on the phone.
Fight.
Big back.
Don't put it on Facebook. Don't put it on live. Call them and see if they was talking about your back. Because 9 times out of 10, you don't know if they was talking about your back.
That's true.
We don't know who back they was talking about. I heard there's a lot of big backs out there in life. So just let that be a lesson.
Hey man, don't go off on me on Facebook. Pull up on me.
Yeah.
Just
Let's act
pull
like
up.
our ages and not our shoe
The
sizes.
rest of Facebook probably looking at us like, man, that big ass family from all over Miami, North Miami, Richmond Heights, Goose, and the Ranch, we from everywhere. They wilding on Facebook.
Bro, the way
we look crazy to the rest of the hood.
Bruh, the way that the live, one of the cousins was like, the guy who this was all over, he was like, well, I don't want you fighting with your cousin. I'm like, now he ain't saying a lot of smart things, but that's one thing he said that was 100% true.
Delete that. I'm saying people's names. Delete that part.
I mean, he literally was like, oh, she said he told her not to fight with your cousin, but she was like, nah, she out of pocket. And again, still, go have a conversation with your cousin. Because I'm telling you right now,
this is nasty work. Just nasty.
Yeah, don't let Facebook be the vehicle for you. Yeah, don't let it be the vehicle to. And then the crazy thing was the old heads, they on Facebook, so they watching too. They was watching. And
I know my mama saw it.
Listen, my mama saw it too.
She definitely did.
I was like, Lord.
I'm glad.
Yeah, I had to tell y'all that offline. What I found out.
I'm glad we put it on wax, because one thing I did promise is when we at the next family reunion, believe me, I'm walking up with my cup of Hennessy and I got something to say.
Okay.
And they made research team for nothing. She got that tea.
Well, y'all going to Detroit?
I'm going. I want to go. I keep forgetting we from the D, which makes sense, because we always a pretty trill family.
At this point, where are we not from? Because my coworkers or my colleagues, I always say, oh, I'm going here, I got family here, or I'm going here, I got family here. One girl messaged me, was like, you got family everywhere. Where don't you have family, bro? And I was like, honestly, I don't know.
Idaho.
I don't know about Idaho.
Yeah.
I don't know. At this
Wisconsin.
point, we in international waters, like, bro, we everywhere.
I feel like because it run in our family. See, we started in the little Georgia, Florida area.
Yeah, we started in Pike County. That's where we started.
But we be like, man, I gotta travel. I gotta get out of here, and we be spreading our wings and we'll come back.
We got cousins everywhere.
Yeah,
we internationally known.
And now we internationally known on the microphone.
Hey,
Oh,
See what I
unfortunately.
did there?
no, yeah,
Oh my god.
no, Diddy.
What happened with Brad and Judy? I don't know who that is, but what happened with them?
Oh
You
yeah,
don't
I
know
didn't
the
see no
brat?
divorce.
The brat and Judy?
I know who Brad is. Who's Judy?
It's
The
That's
wife.
Judy.
the wife.
The wife.
Is her butt
They get the
real?
divorce. They
Oh,
go no.
No, I don't think so. Wait, the Brad or Judy? But I don't think Judy booty real.
Oh, okay. No, there were some divorce allegations floating around, like just on the internet about them. And basically
can they be
Judy had
married in Georgia? Are they really married?
yeah,
Yeah, they married.
yeah, I think legally, yeah, they're
They
Okay,
married.
I'm just asking. I don't know.
They are.
no, yeah. She done paid the brats all the little fees and all that stuff.
Oh,
Anywho,
so Judy got more money than the Brat. That's what you're saying?
no, I'm not saying that at all. I don't know, but I'm just saying like
That's what it sounded like.
definitely
Research team.
they're definitely in a committed relationship because anybody who pays somebody's debt to get out of like bankruptcy and all that and still,
That's
you
what I
know,
need. What does
they,
Judy do?
she owns the hair thing.
Is it Big Booty Judy?
That's not her name.
Yeah,
Her name
the
is
way
Judy.
research team said, it sounded like she bought her butt, so she became Big Booty Judy. But she
I
was
was
just
just
before.
I was asking because I was like,
Maybe she
man,
was Little
that's
Booty Judy.
not.
That's what I'm saying. I thought maybe she was like the original Big Booty Judy, the one that was in the movie.
Oh, I don't know. But that's neither here nor there. Back to the divorce rumors. So basically, long story long, Judy basically said, "We fine over here. We don't be in nobody's business. We just be in our house, chilling, and y'all need to stay out of our business." My question, or my, I guess, response to that is like, as a celeb, as living in the eyes of, the world, they're gonna find something to talk about, whether it's true or not. You can choose to respond or you could choose not to respond, but I just feel like they always gonna have something to say when it comes, especially to the Brad and Judy and their whole dynamics. Like they had something to say when they got pregnant. They had something to say when they got married. They had something to say when Judy paid. Like it's always gonna be something. So they're not getting divorced, but
Who started that rumor?
the internet.
I feel like some people secretly don't like that.
Wait, say it again. You broke up.
I said I feel like people don't like that they are like super happy out lesbians, don't care, just living life. I feel like some people secretly don't like that.
Maybe that's what that is, because they really out here thriving.
People be
I don't-
homophobic, man.
I don't think that that's it because they're not like the level of celebrity that most people would hate on. You get what I'm saying?
I don't know. I think people just are natural haters. I think people don't like happiness, and for the most part,
Yeah, that's true too.
it seems like they just are happy or whatever they have defined as happy. And being out as lesbians and that whole like that's as someone that is not lesbian, that is a whole nother level of relationship dynamics that we will never understand. So the fact that there are rumors and things about what's going on in their marriage or X, Y, and Z, it's not actually that surprising. But I just think you'd be surprised how many haters you really have if like you was paying attention. So I don't know if the level of fame has anything really to do about it. I just think they're happy and like nobody want to see that.
Yeah.
It's definitely
Well,
unfortunate though, because they be
I
really out
am a
there.
hater though. I'm a big hater. I hate that baby Krishan got these two fucked up ass parents that he got, or is it she? It's a he, right?
it's a he.
Yeah, he's Krishan Jr. Right? Yeah.
Lord.
Like they can't stay out of. Well, he got to stay in jail, but come on now. But one of y'all got to be stable, at least a little bit.
What was they even in jail? I saw that and I was just like, Lord, let me just keep on scrolling because this is foolish.
I think she had a warrant for her arrest in another state, and like she had to turn herself in. But really, it don't matter.
Yeah, the
Like,
turn of the fan. I feel you.
like at this point, they sneeze, they in jail. So whatever.
So they
I
out
think
now?
Oh baby.
I think for me, it's an unfortunate situation because I was like, maybe the kid to make people mature and grow up and really get their itch together since you have like someone who is like solely dependent on you. But clearly that's not the case.
I'm gonna pray for that baby.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pray for Judge Mathis too, because he seemed like he really
Bro.
over his wife.
Bro, so I think we talked about this last podcast, but
So
come to find out, he was like, "Oh, I'm trying to be a cautionary tale for those people who like neglect their spouses and all this other stuff." But allegedly, he heavy on alleged, he didn't deny that he was not cheating, and I was like, "At your big old age, sir, what?"
Man.
So when he was going out of town and stuff, and like saying that he was going for work, I think his wife suspected that it was like a little bit more than that. And it's crazy that he talked about this or tried to like escape, like not answer the question directly as he was getting on a flight to go to work. And I'm just like, bruh, your marriage is basically about to be over.
I think that was staged, by the way. I think that cameraman was his.
Oh, okay.
It seemed like it to me.
Oh, like it was two staged.
To me, that's just me. It seemed staged to me.
You think so?
Because if he in a rush to get on the flight and he keep taking breaks, acting like he walking away, coming back, finishing what he's saying, I'm like, I think that's your cameraman. Because I don't think most people would recognize Judge Mathis in the airport. He kind of looks like the regular
Yeah, you might be like, he kind of look like Judge Mathis. But then you're gonna keep, well, that's just a black, because he do kind of just look like an old black man.
Wow. So he's regular schmegler. Got you.
Yeah, he still got the flat top. Yeah, he's the regular.
I mean, unless he had on like a gold chain or something.
You're right. But I just found that odd or like crazy that you try to make it seem like, I guess this just happened out of the blue, or you were just like, sir, you about to be on a flight, going to work. I would have shut down everything. I would have had to lose money. Like, you know what I mean? Like I would have had to make it seem like I was trying to fight for my marriage versus saying I'm gonna show her. You showing her, all right, that this is still not important. She's still not a top priority or really a priority at all. Cause you still getting on this flight.
Who is Judge Mathis old ass cheating with?
Allegedly. I don't know. That's why I'm like, bro, who is
You know them judges. He might got a white thing somewhere. You know how Clarence Thomas is.
He is old.
correct? Yeah. I guess you're never too old to cheat, but
yeah. I was gonna say, did you know that technically in nursing homes, the highest STD is one of the highest rates of things that happen to them in there because they just be in getting down.
But I'm saying like
they just be hunting in there.
I'm not saying old people don't be fucking. I'm saying Judge Mathis don't give off like zaddy vibes.
Pulling them, yeah.
Like I know he got money.
Them be the worst. Them be the worst ones. Them be the worst ones. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah. Because guess who don't get those vibes? And when I seen him on a date in New York, I was like, okay, Stephen A. Smith don't get a vibe either. And he be pulling them. he be pulling them. That's why he ain't married. He be pulling them. He be outside. So don't think that little square bob, square
We knew
pants.
Stephen A was a sniper, even with that hairline. We knew he had him.
Yeah, that's what I'm
We
saying.
knew
Don't
he
let
had him.
don't let that
Don't
square
let the hairline
bob.
fool you.
Yeah, don't let the square bob, square pants fool you. Like they be pulling. If you a black man with a bag and you're confident, don't let that be it.
Lord. I'm just thinking about his hairline. My God. It's I guess it's somebody for everybody to be with or not be with or cheat on or not cheat on.
You're right. You're right.
He does the right
I
thing
don't
by
think
staying
nobody want
single.
to tough that hairline, so that's probably why he ain't married. But he just whatever.
He seemed like somebody that, think about it, he taught all day. And I would just be surprised to know if he came home and he did that much talking. I'd be like, come on, bruh. I don't want to hear that.
Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I get upset when people ask how my day was.
Wow.
Like, please, please, I just want to play the game and do nothing.
You know, it's
Noted.
funny you said
That's
that.
what I'm doing.
It's funny you said that, Doug, because I realized that as someone that as I date, I'm naturally inquisitive. And one thing that one of our cousins, when I was hanging out with him, we're like brother and sister, he was like, you really be asking questions. And it never occurred to me until like one day I was asking one of our other cousins that, he for the streets. And we was at his son Pop Warner game. And I was just asking questions, and he was just like, "Hold on, who you talking? Why are you asking me?" I was like, first of all, so you don't like to be questioned? I'm literally asking basic questions, like where you live at? Oh, you live with your baby mama? What you doing?" And when the way he almost ripped my head off, he just looked at me like, "Why you asking me these questions?" And I'm like, "So wait, y'all be out here laid up with these men, as one of our other cousins put in the chat, and y'all be letting them lead you, and they ain't even the supervisor at the warehouse? What kind of men
that.
are y'all
The thing
sleeping
is,
with? What kind of men are y'all laying up with?"
we literally just want as few words as possible. Y'all ask us some yes, no. Ask us yes and no questions. It's not because we don't like you. We just don't want to talk.
Bruh, I can't. On that note, what we taking shots to?
It's time for shot o'clock.
Yeah.
Oh, before we get to
Dolphins.
that, we gotta say rest in peace to Rebecca Cheptegei,
Oh yeah.
RIP.
the Olympian who did pass away from her injuries, domestic violence incident.
Oh, she passed
Yeah,
away.
that's the domestic
Yeah.
violence is never
Rest
okay,
in peace to
y'all.
her.
Rest in peace.
33 years old, burnt by her boyfriend.
Because he
Mhm.
couldn't
Set
handle
on
his
fire,
emotions.
which is, man, I'm from the crib. I don't understand these dudes that do this type of weird stuff like this. Like, this is, I don't get it.
It's so weird.
But it's also, they were African culture. There is a whole, I think we talked about this offline in the chat. There's a whole nother, there's a whole nother level of that kind of dynamic. And even just with men in general, like having possession over another human being and feeling like now you own them. That's another thing that we deal with in post-colonial society, right? Is, this idea that that person, that's your property. And he wanted to, and he decided to ruin not only his life but her life as well. And so domestic violence is never okay. It is one of the for Black women and women in the United States, one of the top reasons above cancer, above heart attacks, above anything, is domestic violence. Is one of the number one killers of women in the United States. So that's not just in the US, that's global as we see it. And it is never okay to put your hands on anybody. They do not belong to you. They belong to God. And keep your hands to yourself. And yeah, with that, I'm taking a shot to the Dolphins. I'm riding. Let's ride.
Okay.
I'm taking a shot. I got me a new, y'all know I'm on my fitness journey. I got me a new gallon water jug that I'm trying
Oh
to
my
finish
God.
every day. And I got
That's aggressive.
35 ounces left. So I'm gonna take a large shot of alkaline water to my homie, rich homie Quan, a real nigga, Atlanta legend. R.I.P. my man. Rest in power. Taking a shot.
I'm gonna take a shot to me taking this PTO this week.
Period. I'm taking a shot to that.
That's all I got. Shots to PTO.
Oh,
I'm gonna take a shot to Rich Homie Quan. I think he deserves that. He was an error for us, you know what I'm saying?
mhm.
He got hits that 2011 to 13, 14, 15. He was in there. Rich Homie Quan. Probably I'm gonna take a shot to the next 20 hours because I gotta go back to these people's job tomorrow.
Yeah, true.
And good close of summer because fall is definitely like right outside the door. So I'm gonna take a shot to that.
And a reminder to the audience that it's still hoe season. Okay. Happiness over everything.
All right, y'all. Clank clank.
And with that, we will conclude this. Actually, this is a very good episode. We got to a lot. Please follow us on Twitter at Call Your Cousins, CALLYOURCOUSINS. Instagram at Call Your Cousins Pod. Subscribe to us on YouTube, also at Call Your Cousins, refer to the Twitter or X as that man with all them kids calls it now. And our email at callyourcousinspod@gmail.com. And hope to see y'all next month. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.